If you're working in pretty much any industry right now, you can feel it, can't you? AI is not just some tech buzzword anymore. It's this massive wave that is literally reshaping the entire job market. And to stay competitive, you can't just adapt. You've got to get way out ahead of the curve. And that's exactly what we're going to break down right now.
Okay, let's just dive right in with a pretty chilling warning from someone who is at the absolute heart of the AI revolution. We're talking about Dario Amodei, the CEO of Anthropic. That's the company behind the AI model Claude. Now, he is not sugarcoating this at all. And notice, he's not being vague. He's putting a hard number and a scarily short timeline on this whole shift. 50%. I mean, just let that number sink in for a second. We're talking about half of all jobs, especially those in entry-level and administrative roles. And this isn't some far-off sci-fi future scenario we're talking about. This is a 5-year forecast. The sheer scale of this is why understanding the right skills is no longer just a good idea, it's basically a career survival strategy.
But look, this isn't about fear-mongering. This is a wake-up call, because the fundamental rules of what employers are actually looking for have changed. The game is being rewritten, like right now as we speak.
This slide right here, this really nails the shift. Just a couple of years ago, having an AI certificate or some theoretical knowledge was enough to look impressive. Well, not anymore. Companies are not looking for AI enthusiasts. They need people who can actually deploy AI into their systems and create real, measurable business impact. They need doers, not just learners.
So let's start with the first and honestly the most fundamental skill, strategic prompting. Think of this as your new superpower. It's not just about asking a chatbot a question. It's about learning how to have a strategic conversation with an AI to get exactly what you need out of it.
We call this prompt engineering. It's really the art and science of talking to AI. Think of it less like a Google search and more like you're the director of a really powerful actor. You have to give it the perfect instructions, the right motivation to get a brilliant, consistent performance every single time.
And this is what that actually looks like in the real world. You're not just firing off one-off questions, you're building entire systems. Imagine creating a personalized career roadmap by telling an AI, look, I have 2 hours a week and I want to become a data analyst. And then it just builds you a custom 6-month plan. See? That's moving way beyond simple questions to getting strategic results. Okay, so prompting is your entry point. Now we're going to get under the hood, into the technical core, the skills you need to actually build and customize the AI engines themselves. First up is skill number 2, applied machine learning. This is where the rubber really meets the road. It's the difference between a cool theory on a whiteboard and a deployed model that's actually out there making money for a business.
So forget about just experimenting in a research notebook. This is all about taking a real business problem, like predicting which customers are about to cancel their subscription, and then building a working model that gets deployed to actually prevent that from happening. You're not a scientist in a lab, you're an engineer building a solution.
Next up, skill number 3, deep learning. This is the powerhouse technology behind the most mind-blowing AI we see out there today. It's the engine that lets computers see and understand the world in really complex ways.
In practice, this means you're building those complex neural networks, the brains of the whole operation. Whether it's optimizing a model that helps doctors spot diseases earlier or building the perception systems in a self-driving car, mastering this means you are building on the absolute cutting edge of technology.
Skill 4 is all about giving AI some much-needed context. I mean, a generic model like GPT-4 is amazing, but it knows nothing about your company's private data. That's where fine-tuning and this technique called RAG, that's Retrieval Augmented Generation, come in. Think of RAG as giving the AI a key to your company's internal library so it can look things up before it answers. So it makes AI business-specific.
This is how you build an AI that has actually read all of your company's internal documents. It's how you create a sales co-pilot that knows your product specs inside and out, or an HR bot that understands your specific employee policies. You're basically giving the AI your company's brain. So, we've got the props down, we've built the core models, but how do you get them out of the lab and into the hands of millions of users reliably and at scale? Well, that's what this final set of skills is all about, the delivery engine. And that brings us to skill 5, MLOps. Look, a brilliant model that only works on a developer's laptop is completely useless. MLOps is the industrial-grade backbone that takes a cool prototype and turns it into a scalable, reliable product that can serve millions of people.
This means you're building the automated assembly lines, often called CI/CD pipelines, that can test, deploy, and monitor these models automatically. Because in today's world, a model isn't really finished until it's running seamlessly in the wild for millions of users.
Next is skill 6, and it is a huge one: data engineering for AI. Let's be blunt. AI is nothing without data. High-quality, well-structured, accessible data is the fuel for everything we've just talked about. And this skill is the mission-critical function that provides that fuel.
This skill is about being the architect of the entire data infrastructure. You're not just moving data from point A to point B, you're building the superhighways in the refineries that collect all this messy, raw information and turn it into the high-quality, perfectly structured fuel that every single AI model needs to run on.
And finally, skill number 7, which honestly might be the most important of all. The most valuable professionals in 2025 are not going to be AI generalists. They'll be specialists who can merge deep technical skills with deep industry knowledge.
This right here is the ultimate goal. You've got the core technical skills at the center, sure, but the real value is created when you fuse them with what we call soft skills, things like communication, creative problem solving, and leadership. An AI model is just a tool, but an expert in, say, finance or healthcare who knows how to wield that tool to solve real, industry-specific problems, that person is basically irreplaceable.
So, the big question, right? How do you actually learn this stuff? Well, I can tell you it's definitely not by passively watching a bunch of online courses and collecting certificates. The approach has to be completely different now.
This requires a total mindset shift. Stop just learning and start building. Don't just take another course, pick a project that solves a real business problem. Build a forecasting system, create a chatbot for HR policies, whatever it is. And then put it on GitHub for the whole world to see. That portfolio of real working projects, that is your new resume. So as we wrap this up, I really want to leave you with this one thought. This massive shift isn't something to fear. It's a launchpad. The future of your career is going to be defined by the choices you make right now. So the only question left is, which skill are you going to master first?